You wake up in a white room. Fluorescent lights buzz above you like they're judging your life choices. The office is spotless, symmetrical, almost too perfect. A keyboard sits in front of you, the monitor blinking with a prompt, ready for your macro data refinement assignment. You have no idea what that means, or who you are, or why you're wearing shoes that feel like they were designed for someone with hooves. There's a slight pressure in your skull, like someone installed a zipper in your brain and didn't bother closing it all the way. You don't remember your name or getting here. You don't remember anything. A man in a pastel tie with a disturbingly symmetrical smile enters. Welcome to Lumon. My name is Mr. Milchick. You've just undergone a procedure known as Severance, where your work self and outside self are completely separate. Isn't that wonderful? Apparently, you have a new job here. You don't know anything about Lumon, but hey, new job. Maybe this is just a weird onboarding process. You're looking forward to knowing what after-work hangouts look like. You're escorted through white halls so sterile they make hospital corridors look like dive bars. You meet your team. There's Irving, who treats the employee handbook like it's sacred scripture and quotes military history like he fought in 3 wars. Helly, who looks like she's been here 5 minutes and is already plotting how to shiv her way out with a coffee spoon. Dylan, loud, sarcastic, obsessed with perks, and apparently fueled entirely by waffle parties and rage. And of course, Mr. Milchick, middle management in human form. Always smiling, always watching, and somehow always popping up just when you think you're alone. Your job? Refining scary numbers. That's what they tell you. You're supposed to look at spreadsheets and delete the ones that feel wrong. What qualifies as wrong? No one knows. It's less of a job and more of a spiritual guessing game. You ask what the numbers do, and Milchick just looks at you, smiles, and answers with the most corporate way you've ever seen to dodge a question. Cool. The break room is either a reward chamber or psychological torture depending on the day. You earn trinkets like finger traps and erasers for being a star refiner, and Dylan acts like it's the Oscars. And somehow, it works. You start looking forward to melon bars. You pretend not to notice how the windows are fake. You stop questioning why your Audi signed up for this. Because this is your world now. Just you, your terminal, and the slowly growing sense that none of this is okay. But hey, at least the coffee's free. However, after a few weeks, something feels off. At first, it's little things, like the carpets. They have no stains. Every corner is unnaturally pristine, like the place was cleaned by a team of robots with OCD and no sense of mercy. And then there's the layout. Sometimes you want to go for a quick walk, but all those hallways look the same, but somehow feel longer. The ceilings feel lower. You start to wonder how big this place really is. You've been here weeks, maybe months, and still haven't seen the whole floor. That's not normal, right? Unless this company has its own zip code, the rooms are as strange as the hallways. There are so many rooms no one seems to use. Conference rooms full of empty chairs facing empty whiteboards. A dark room filled with nothing but fake plants. An office labeled Department of Recompense that no one acknowledges exists. Then one day you push open a door you shouldn't have opened and step inside. And there they are. Goats. Real live baby goats. In a pen. Indoors. A man in a lab coat looks up and simply says they need to be nurtured before going back to bottle feeding one. You joke about it to Dylan, of course you do, and he just shrugs. That's the goat room, don't ask. You laugh, he doesn't. You ask Helly, have you ever seen anyone from another department? She snorts, I saw someone from optics and design once. He handed me a card that said friendship and stared at me for a full minute before walking away. So, that's a no. You try to press Irving for answers, but he just gets glassy-eyed and mutters something about the sanctity of the Kier philosophy. You think he's joking until he quotes it like scripture. The remembered man does not decay. Okay, looks like he's not going to be much help. The work starts to feel fake too. You're deleting numbers that somehow equal bad data. What is the data? What does refinement even mean? Dylan says he once clicked too fast and got a warning for over-efficiency. Later you discover what wellness sessions are. A woman tells you facts about your Audi like you're reading a review of someone else's life. Your Audi is generous. Your Audi is admired by peers. Great. Meanwhile, your innie is slowly losing his grip on reality and has no idea why goats are involved. That's when it hits you. Everything here is controlled. The lights, the layout, the language, even your curiosity. and that creeping feeling that's been in your chest since day one is not going away. Far from it, it's getting worse. At some point, the question stops being, what am I doing here, and becomes, why would anyone choose this? So you decide to do the logical thing. Tell your Audi to quit his job. After all, he's the reason you're here. Maybe he thought this was some kind of meditation retreat with spreadsheets. But surely if he knew what it was actually like being reborn every morning into this sterile IKEA dungeon, he'd change his mind. You just need to get a message to him. So you write a note. Simple, direct, get me out. You tuck it into your pocket, take a deep breath, and walk towards the elevator like you're not doing anything suspicious at all. And that's when the alarm goes off. A high-pitched whine, red lights flashing, like you just tried to carry a bomb out of an airport. Before you can even blink, Milchick is already there, smiling that terrifying, well-moistured smile. Trying to smuggle thoughts? He asks, like this is all very charming and not incredibly dystopian. He confiscates the note, gives you a demerit, and leaves with a pat on the shoulder like he's your friendly school counselor and not a nightmare in business casual. He must have watched you slip that note in your pocket with cameras. You consider writing on your palm, but they'll probably see you do that too. Only one option left, becoming a mule. You swallow the note. Fold it up into a tight little capsule of desperation and printer paper, chased with a swig from the break room water cooler. Your hope is that your Audi will notice it later after realizing paper shouldn't be what comes out of you when you go for a number 2. This time, your plan is perfect. You used the bathroom stall to swallow your message, and you made sure no one saw you. You're about to leave through the elevator, but as you step inside, the alarm goes off again. Milchick is there again. This time, he looks a little more annoyed, like you're a toddler refusing a nap. We're just trying to keep you safe, he says. This time, it's more serious. You're already being marched down the sterile white corridors, past the empty offices, past the water cooler that no one's ever seen plugged in, and straight into the break room, the most ironically named space in the building. You're seated in front of a table, cold metal, with one sheet of paper and one sentence printed at the top. Milchick stands behind the glass like he's watching a theatrical performance called Humiliation the Musical. The sentence is simple. I am sorry for the harm I have caused my company. That's it. Except you can't just say it once. You have to mean it. You recite it. Again. A robotic voice from the intercom cuts in after each attempt. Unacceptable. You change your tone. Still unacceptable. You fake a tear. Insincere. You start to believe it. Just to make it stop. Better. Continue. Your throat is raw. Your sense of time dissolves. You don't even know if you've been here for 20 minutes or 2 days. You just know that the words are becoming part of you, like a mantra designed to erase your thoughts and replace them with gratitude for the fluorescent lights above your head. And when it's finally over, when you're released back to your desk with swollen eyes and a scrambled brain, you now understand that trying to communicate with the outside world is no use, and the only option left is trying to escape this nightmare. So you scheme a plan to escape. You spend weeks memorizing the layout, counting footsteps, watching where Milchick swipes his card. You draw a map on post-it notes and hide them behind the urinal. Nobody checks the urinal. And then one day, you see it. A hallway you weren't supposed to see. Black walls, no lights, just a red arrow above a door glowing faintly, pointing to an elevator you've never used. That's it. That's the exit. You start your final shift like it's any other. Dylan makes a joke. Irving stares at the same damn painting. Helly's trying to escape in her own way. Milchick breezes by, humming something upbeat and legally inoffensive. You smile. He doesn't notice the subtle bump you give him. He doesn't feel the card leave his pocket. You wait until the cameras blink off during the lunchtime system refresh. 7.5 seconds. You move. Past the conference room, past the goats, down the black corridor, heart pounding. The red arrow glows brighter as you swipe the card. The elevator opens. You step inside. This is it. You're leaving. You're about to be free. Free to see the outside world. You don't even know what the sky looks like. You just know the concept of it. The door of the elevator closes. Ding! The doors open back, and your blood runs cold. You're back at the normal entrance. The same sterile white floor. The same elevator lobby you've seen 1,000 or maybe 1,000,000 times before. This feels like any other regular day coming to work. You look down, and your pocket is empty. The key card is gone. Milchick appears in the doorway, smiling like a man who knew. Welcome back, he says cheerfully. Just in time. We've got a big day ahead. He doesn't even mention the card. He doesn't have to. You follow him down the hallway, not because you want to, but because that's what you're programmed to do. You sit back down at your desk. The spreadsheet opens itself. You're not sure what happened. Did you dream this? Is this what happens when your innie subconscious drifts away as you're being replaced by your outie? No, you were in this black hallway. You're sure of it. And that's when it hits you. You never got out. Your outie did. He was the one who walked out of the building. And if you're back here, then that can only mean one thing. Your outie never cared for you. That's the truth that hits the hardest. Not in a single blow, but in 1,000 tiny realizations, all stacking up until they crush you. He's out there living your life, breathing fresh air, eating real food, seeing the sun, laughing with friends you'll never meet, holding people you'll never know. He's spending the money you earned, sipping wine while you count numbers and apologize for breathing wrong. You do the labor. He reaps the reward. Every moment you exist is for him. You are not his partner. You are not his other half. You are his tool, his servant, his slave. And one day, without ceremony, without warning, he will decide he's done. Maybe he retires. Maybe he moves on. Maybe he just gets bored. And when that day comes, he won't come back. And you won't be freed. You won't be thanked. You won't be remembered. You will simply stop. Your mind will die in silence, in darkness, forgotten behind a door that never opens again. Not because you failed, but because he stopped showing up.